Alright, I think we should be live. But yeah, probably just going to be a quick stream today. It's going to quickly and try to look through Bloom Energy. So this is like an old DCF model I have on Bloom Energy that I did a few months back when I was looking to more invest in the company for long term rather than trade it. Of course, since then there's been a bit of controversy, as to be fair is always the case with Bloom Energy, around obviously potentially being a scam with this, I think it's like Scandium and some other raw inputs. So yeah, it's gonna do some investigation, do more of a trade analysis rather than long-term thesis on it, and just kind of get a gauge of where the company's at, its valuation multiples. And yeah, so to do that, it's gonna do the usual trade analysis rather than any DCF models, which to be honest these days are a massive waste of time. Don't know if the noise cancelling is working. 1 too many zeros. Oh, there's a million. Oh, it's a million. Yeah. Cool. Cash. So there's the stock price at the moment. I mean, it's just super volatile stock anyway. If you look at the last year, I mean, it was this time last year was at $24 a share, which is insane. And then, yeah, I mean, more than 10x since then. Peaked around 350, 52-week high, yeah, 350. But yeah, even the last few months, to be honest, like it goes to like 170, go down to like 100. So super volatile stock, which I guess if you're trading it is always fun. PE ratio is insane, 11,000. Forward PE of 94 to be fair, but I mean that's still quite insane. But I feel like with these kind of stocks, it's so hard to value. Like you just can't really. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's similar to like trying to value like a Tesla in like 2012. Like you can do as many modeling and like apply as many valuation multiples to it as you want, but unless you can forecast the performance, that's gonna like incur very hard. I mean, its market cap is already 66 billion, which is not small. But then again, to be fair, when I first bought Tesla in 2017, it was about, I think it was like a 40-50 billion dollar market cap. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Anyway, what's the cash? Let's see. So they have a TTM cash of 2493. Not bad. It's a decent amount of money actually. Total debt of 2732. So yeah, around $66 billion enterprise value. Cool. And then one thing I've found a nice hack. Actually, let's do that quick. Maybe get rid of this. Well, actually, before I do that, statistics, forecast. So 2026 ends. So so I'd total revenue projects of 3.2 billion, whereas market's actually expecting. So I mean, the model was just way too low anyway. What was the model valuation? 233. Huh. Yeah. I think I modeled it way too low anyway. I mean, no, about $100 a share. Let's see. So the analysts on Wall Street expect it to hit 10 billion in revenue by 28. This model don't think did that. Oh my god, yeah, well off. Had a projecting hitting 10, or just less than 10 by 29. So the model was way too pessimistic. EPS kind of apparently will explode this year. I mean, wow, that is insane. I mean, that is insane growth. So 28 forward P of 31, which is yeah, okay. But anyway, let's just do the model. I've trained Claude to effectively do my normal analysis now for me, and then I just go in and basically do like a reviewer job. So it's massively cut down my time frame for doing analysis. I'll give it a more recent model. Which one have I been doing recently? Like Turtle Beach would be a nice one. I've been in the video game sector. Plug that model in. Another recent one I've done. I think QXO. Is it QXO or something else? Oh, XRO. I think I did. I think it was XRO. Yeah. I'll just leave Turtle Beach for now. crap, probably should show you what it actually is.
We have to touch on Bloom Energy. This is actually insane, guys. The same rumor has been circulating for years by short sellers that Bloom Energy does not have enough scandium to power their fuel cell technology, and that the entire company is a huge scam and is going to be
Did you see the video that was put out?
This guy went on CNBC yesterday and inferred that Bloom Energy could be the Theranos of the AI cycle, and the stock is down 20% in the last few days. And it's the same rumor that the company has debunked over and over and over again. It's quite honestly
Right, the CEO is literally on mic talking about that it's a non-issue.
What is this, a buying opportunity? Are we doubling down? Are we cautiously optimistic?
Guys, here's my statement on this, because this has to stop at some point. Is it theoretically possible that Bloom is lying about scandium and that Brookfield, Oracle, Nebius, they all failed, okay, to uncover this crazy fatal supply constraint before committing to multi-billion-dollar deals to Bloom? Yeah, I mean, it's theoretically possible, but it's extraordinarily unlikely. So Bloom came out and they basically stated in an SEC filing yesterday that it does have sufficient non-China scandium supply for its current demand and its backlog, and they're saying that they have visibility into 25 gigawatts of annual production, which is absolutely insane. I'm going to assume it's true, okay? Now, Brookfield expanded its partnership with Bloom, okay, to $25 billion. Nebius committed up to $2.6 billion. Oracle, who contracted for an initial 1.2 gigawatts for Bloom, I think they have their agreement going up to 2.8 gigawatts. So something that you have to understand about scandium, the estimates are not precision exercises. Okay. So Bloom's material intensity, their manufacturing yields, their inventory, their supplier contracts, and their future efficiency gains, which are the most important piece of this puzzle, are not publicly known. Okay. So you either think that they are bold-faced lying to you and all these
Yeah.
companies did not do their due diligence, or that this random investment company and the couple short sellers that came out before them last year and the year before know more than all these companies. And maybe they do. Read the short report. I would say read it. Okay. Read Bloom's response. Go on X, read all of the analysis. There are so many people, engineers, that are doing excellent analysis on scandium. And I think the smartest ones ultimately tell you, hey, this is a really complex computation and we can't even do it without the proprietary information that Bloom has. So it's, I think, impossible for a short seller to come out with conviction and say that they don't have access to the scandium that they need to produce, because they do not know the efficiency levels that Bloom has reached and that they're using in their math for their fuel cell technology. But honestly, guys, do your own homework, make your own decision. I'm not selling Bloom. That's my own personal decision. So don't blame it on me if they do turn out to be the next Theranos. I just don't think that they are, based on my research. But guys, you got to do your own research on this.
Yeah.
I might buy more Bloom.
It's not new news. It's just it's rehashing old rumors.
It's the
that have
same.
been-
It's the same rumor from what, last year.
They've always been thought of as like, well, there's something going on with Bloom. It seems too good to be true, so it has to be a scam. And
They, oh, no, hold on. They do have a history, to give the short sellers some credit. This company does have a history going back before the AI age in making, basically saying things that didn't come to fruition or got delayed meaningfully, as most of the companies in the world do, right? Like that just happens when you're working on bleeding edge technology. But I don't think that's where we are in the cycle. Also, what they're coming out and saying is that the data centers that they're connected to are getting delayed. Now, what the short seller did not say is that all data centers are getting delayed. It's not like the ones attached to Bloom only are getting delayed. We all know that every data center project is going to get delayed. That's like kind of a known thing amongst everybody in the AI sector. So to pinpoint the ones that they're working on with like Brookfield or with Oracle are getting delayed and being like, that's a red flag. No, that's the entire sector, guys. So just stop it. Just stop it, okay? I'm willing, the risk reward here, I'm fine with it. When I look at all the companies in the sector and I look at Bloom, I do believe in their fuel cell technology. I've done a tremendous amount of work on it. I'm comfortable with it. Will it get delayed? Everything gets delayed in AI. I just don't care. I don't care. I'm in. Man, I know I'm ranting today, but there's just these short guys. I appreciate them, honestly, because sometimes they're right, but I didn't like this guy's appearance on CNBC yesterday. He was just really cocky. This is a firm that actually doesn't do a lot of short selling. So you got to give them a little more credit. They're generally like an asymmetric long company. They do have this media division. If you have a media division, it makes me think that you're getting more into short selling, because that's what all the short sellers do. I don't necessarily think he's being disingenuous.
I think he believes 100% in his thesis.
Yeah, which is fine. But again, this opens up an opportunity for investors to take a side. So this is what you want, guys. You want to understand the other side of your trade, which in this case, this week, with Bloom being now 20%, is a short thesis that says these guys are lying to you. They're lying to you. So now it's your job to go out and make an assessment. Is Bloom lying to us? Is Brookfield incapable of doing any due diligence? Is Oracle incapable of doing due diligence? Do you think they sign these multi-billion-dollar deals and basically stake their future on this energy cell technology without having confidence around the scandium that would be required to power these fuel cells? I'm going to make a decision that they wouldn't do that. But it's always possible. This guy could be right. You got to be open to the scenario of that possibility. I'm willing to take that risk. I don't know how else to say it. I'm willing to take the risk.
This is the biggest lie I've ever heard a CEO tell.
The one notable country that you're not sourcing from is China.
We made a decision that we are only going to depend on supply chains that we can completely trust. And that was a country we avoided.
When did you make that bet?
2005.
This wasn't a one-time thing. The CEO of this $80 billion company said it again and again and again.
There is no China supply chain for us. We are not dependent on China first, and I can state that very clearly.
We never coupled ourselves to the China supply chain, which in hindsight today means that we don't have to decouple from something.
But these statements aren't true. Our reporting found that China isn't just part of Bloom's supply chain. It is key to Bloom's AI data center growth story. A growth story that's taken Bloom stock from $3 to $300. So why hide it? Because Bloom's dependence on China means that the Chinese Communist Party has an off switch on America's AI data center build-out. And the second you realize how dependent Bloom is on one Chinese rare earth, the math behind its promises collapses. And so does Wall Street's story of how this company is going to grow from 1 gigawatt of power a year to 5. The truth is, there's not enough scandium, including China, for Bloom to come even close. And the thing about scandium is it's not a nice to have. It's one of the key differentiators in Bloom's patents. Until now, Bloom's scandium supply chain had been a mystery. By Bloom's own telling, it's a closely guarded secret.
We don't reveal those sources. That's part of our IP.
The only detail Bloom seems to repeat again and again is that it's not dependent on China. Our team of reporters has traced Bloom's scandium supply chain all the way up, combing through trade records, satellite images, and one of our reporters from China messaging Bloom's suppliers directly, using a Pikachu icon. Pikachu? And here's what the supplier said. You see those letters, BE? That stands for Bloom Energy. This is a sales rep from Hunan Oriental Scandium, one of China's biggest scandium producers, which called itself, to us, Bloom's largest supplier. This, while Bloom's CEO has said that Bloom has no reliance on a Chinese supply chain at all.
None of our critical materials come from contested supply chains or war zones, and there is no China supply chain for us.
Since China is now enforcing strict export controls on scandium, we asked the supplier how they're getting the scandium from China to the United States. Their answer, quote, not exported directly. But despite Bloom's apparent efforts to obfuscate its scandium supply chain, the truth is hiding in plain sight. And you don't need to take our word for it. You just need to look at pictures from Bloom's May 2026 Supplier Summit. Attendees posted photos of the logo wall to social media. And we counted not 1, not 2, but 3 Chinese scandium suppliers.
Not 2, not 3.
The same names that turn up repeatedly in trade data, where Bloom scandium appears to move out of China and then to countries like Thailand and Japan and Korea, and only then to the United States. And we can tell this is a deliberate playbook because one of Bloom's other suppliers, not for scandium, actually wrote it down. In a Chinese securities filing, one company, which supplies Bloom with temperature sensors, disclosed that Bloom told it to stop shipping to the US directly, and instead to route through Taiwan and India first, in order to, quote, gradually reduce direct exports to the US and dodge tariffs. So why is Bloom hiding its China supply chain? We can't actually know for sure. But our bet is that it's because Bloom can't even come close to meeting the demand that Wall Street is modeling. Now, the funny thing is I think Bloom's lawyers are onto this problem. After Bloom's CEO made those false statements on a 2025 earnings call and then again on a podcast, this February, 40 pages into Bloom's SEC filing, the company quietly added a disclosure, admitting it does source some rare earth metals from China, which was a decent enough cleanup job, except for the fact that the CEO then went out and said the opposite again.
That was a country we avoided.
Then he went one step further, and this is actually pretty bad. He implied that avoiding China gives Bloom an edge in selling to the US military.
Does that tee up Department of Defense work? I could see this being a very valuable asset for the US.
It will be. And we can't speak too much about it, but obviously for intelligence and defense.
You could break some news here, it'd be great.
This raises a few questions. Has Bloom been honest with the US government about its China supply chain? Was it honest with Oracle, its biggest customer? What else is Bloom hiding? And what happens if China simply cuts Bloom off? Because right now, every shipment of scandium has to be approved by the CCP. And the CCP isn't just demanding to know who the scandium is being exported to, it's asking who the end customers are. We heard this directly from Chinese suppliers, which means China has a real role in deciding whether Bloom can continue to produce its fuel cells, despite the company saying it has no single points of failure. And in case you haven't heard, the US and China are in an AI arms race. So if the CCP can flip an off switch that cuts off power to American data centers, they really might. And they're already restricting these exports. Of course, there's one other possibility. Bloom does have enough scandium, more than enough. Maybe the demand for Bloom's fuel cells is about as real as the company's claims about its supply chain. And if that's true, then maybe Bloom doesn't have a scandium problem at all. You can read our full investigation where we dig into all of this at hunterbrook.com/Bloom.
Pikachu.